Hello! Today I'm gonna show you how to combine different techniques and create an interesting image. I had a surrealistic idea that I wanted to try and digital paint, but at the same time I had no desire to paint everything from scratch. So I used some shortcuts. For example, I used a software, made the pose, rendered image. In 3D Maya, I decided what sort of light I wanted to use, what sort of colors I wanted to shine upon the body, and after that, I imported everything in Photoshop. At first I grayscaled the body because I wanted to use my own colors, not the ones that I had after render. Once I grayscaled everything, I selected the body, and then I started to add color on my own. Of course, if you only add a color, it won't look real, so you need to use blending modes to decide what you want to do about it. The next step was adding a water. Well, it didn't look very watery at first, it was just a blue blob that made me visualize where everything should be, and I needed to choose a color from the start because afterwards I would create shadows and light effects on the body, so the base color was very important at this step. I played around with many brushes, different strokes, until I found something that at least a little bit resembled what I wanted it to look like. Actually, I put too much effort into this because at this point it's not very important how the water looks, how everything looks. Once I was kind of okay with water, I started adding the sky because I needed to see what other colors I'll be using. Unless I do this, I cannot actually start working with the body. So I experimented some more with different colors, different brushes to see where everything fit best and what I should leave for the maximum effect. I knew that I wanted some sort of red color up there because I wanted red highlights on the body, but on the other hand, I had some problem deciding where and how I want the colors to be in the sky. It's not natural to have that shiny, colorful sky after all. Once I decided what colors I want to use, I just played around with blending modes. I actually liked a lot a blue color. So at some point I thought maybe I should add the blue sky, but then I just remembered that actually blue and blue wouldn't work out in my idea. I needed red light. After I was kind of okay with the sky, I started adding shadows on the body. Of course, adding colors was a must. I couldn't leave the body looking so fake and flat in this environment. So first I added some cool colors, then used blending modes to decide what sort of blending I want, how they should look in the final result, because some blending modes works best for light colors, some for dark colors, and some doesn't work in many cases at all. So once I decided on the blending mode, I needed to recolorize the shadows again because the color was too strong. After that, I needed to add some highlights. As you can see, I'm adding colors that have nothing to do with sky or with water or with anything that you saw in the final result. Because at this point, I'm just reshaping the body from new, kind of shaping second layer of skin on top of the skin. And also adding different colors using brushes on 3D model makes everything look more painted. It destroys that 3D smoothness and realistic image that you get once you import the render file. So when I was finally finished with highlights, I needed to add color. And this is a crucial part because light is everything in the picture. It's one of the most important things that you can use in photography, in painting, in cinema, anywhere. So it's very good that I used render before and decided where the light should be. I just used that image as guidance, which parts I wanted to be red, which parts I wanted to stay blue, and added according to that. So as you can see at this point, I'm just adding red color a little here and there. Lines are not very smooth. In some places it's very rough. It doesn't matter. Right now it's just to see where everything goes. You can blend everything, you can smooth it out afterwards. And of course, now I need to find the perfect blending mode for this. Basically, this entire image has a lot of use of blending modes. Yes, this works best. Okay, next thing I want to do is fix a little bit everything. As you can see in this blending mode, when I work with colors, it just shines. Very bright orangey red color. Something very similar to the sky, and it works very well. Well, maybe not now. It looks a little bit clunky at this point. But afterwards you will see how well it all blends into one image. I actually very hated the spot on the back, this very strong line. But I had no idea what to do about it to fix it at this point, so I decided to add blue colors and then fix everything up once I had added that. With blue, everything is much simpler because it's kind of reflection from the water, and most of the places that are not orange will be blue. Now, the perfect thing about blending modes is that when you mash them together, they actually have very unique results. For example, right now I'm only using red color and blue color, but once they intercept, we get violet, dark blue, colors that I did not know I wanted until that point. But once I saw them, I knew that this is what I need. And it's still the same 3D image, but now when I added so many flat colors and used different blending modes, in the upper back, it looks like painted. For the lower part, I still need to fix that to make it less 3D. I wanted to create light hair, so I decided on the base color white, and I thought I will change it afterwards. I'll decide what to do about it. Maybe it will be blue like water, maybe it will be red, maybe it will be both, or just some highlights in color. I had no idea what to do about it, since my draft was basically without any color. But you know, once I added white hair, I decided that it looks kind of okay. Even as flat white hair, it looks okay in this image. It has that surreal quality about it, especially seeing how much color I used on the body. Then I decided that if the body has highlights more in the orange scale than red, I needed to fix the stars. They were very red, different in color that I wanted to have at this point, so I used a little bit of orange glow to see what can be made of this. And again, try one thing, try another until something works. And then I needed to add violet color, because there are violet shadows in some places. I needed to add the reason why such color appears on the body. And the next part is hard. I took the image from internet because I needed a general shape and color, and afterwards I just repainted the heart. Added colors, blended many things in to create something that I wanted, because in this image, heart cannot look like actual realistic heart. It would clash horribly with the whole surreal imagery and digital painting style that I wanted to use in some places. So it's a heart, but it's not the same as it was before. Once the heart is finished, I need to create the line that will connect the heart and the hair. I stroked the path once I decided what thickness I needed for this image, and then removed the parts that I do not need anymore. And now it's all in place. Next step is coloring. I need to color this quad in red. I need to combine it with the heart and with the hair. It's very easy and very fun part. Actually, I enjoy doing this a lot. And since the color is flat, I don't actually need to do much of a work. Just add some lines, and if there's too many, remove some lines. Yeah, this does not work. This does not work either. Okay, so now we have a quad. What's next? Well, basically I need to add some shadows and highlights, at least in some part, because as you remember, only the hair is flat in this image. Everything else has a bit of a shape at least. So I need to add a bit of a shape too. Otherwise, heart will not be blended normally into this picture. It will look out of place. Now I need to add some blue color, because like in everything else, I want to create blueness wherever I can. It will be a very big boost of color in the end. So I cannot waste this opportunity at all. And it also gives me this chance to add very hard, very dry lines, different than the smooth body. And I like it. This difference between techniques and different colors, different strokes and brushes. I like the variety of it, so I want to add as much as I can. And again, blending modes, to decide what sort of blue I want in this image. And this one works best. Okay, now I need to add some water. The first idea was a mythical pond in space, floating somewhere without any restrictions, without any shape, without any laws. I wanted to create something that doesn't look very real, but on the other hand, doesn't look very unreal. A sort of out of this world, out of this space type of thing, more like an experience of color and light. So basically, I did a lot of experimenting on this part, using many different brushes, adding them on top of each other, creating some sort of layer after layer after layer, many different variations of chaos. And then I tried to just find a way to control it. So this is basically what I'm doing. And once I created something that resembled a little of what I wanted, I just added the shape, because even if at first it looked okay, now I see that it's not. Now I see that it needs some actual shape, more rounded, more pond-like shape. It's another thing that I need to fix. And as you can see, brushes after brushes after brushes. I had in mind what sort of brush I wanted, but at the same time I did not have the brush that I envisioned in my mind, so I was just trying to find something that was similar, at least. Trying to find a way to solve a problem of not having a shape that I needed and being too lazy to actually create the shape that I needed. And brushes are not actually the solution. The solution is you, and you can choose many different brushes and actually do perfect job each and every time, and brushes are never at fault if you do something wrong. It's you and the way you use them. So yeah, this part is a very good lesson of how one can be very stubborn to create something simple, something small. Now, when I think that the water part is basically what I want it to be, I need to fix the heart, I need to fix everything around it. Removing color, adding color, because this water must be some sort of glowing energy pond in space, so it cannot be normal, it cannot react normal to environment, to human body, to flesh. Also, the heart needs to be more pronounced as an object. It needs to be warmer. It needs to have this glow feeling. So I'm adding color, I'm adding light to it, kind of a life. I'm adding extra light to the shape. And then again, I'm playing and seeing how the color works best in this situation. Next step is adding some details. Some blue lights, some lines between fingers, trying to find something to fix more, to create sharper, maybe more colorful lines, to give a little bit of magic. As you can see, I'm not trying to create sharp lines. I want to create that glow feeling, where there is no sharp lines, where there is no cutout lines. It feels like everything goes into space. Everything has this small layer of glowiness, even on top of the skin. The only part, as you can see, where I'm not actually doing anything of the sort is the hair. In my opinion, the hair in this picture must stay as flat as it can be. The whole idea was to create a mashup between different looks, like flat color of the hair and 3D image of the body and digital paint of the space and water and everything on top of it. So this is a very strange mashup of variations. How can you use different techniques to blend them? And I very love mashing up different things. It gives sort of appreciation and freedom. So as you can see, I'm almost finished. The last steps are just adding some blue lights, deciding how much glow I want to leave, things like that. Now for the last part, I decided that I wanted to create some sort of extra glowy effect with color, because the sky is very vivid, different lights, purple, red, blue lights. I thought that there should be some sort of reflection on the water too, but at the same time, as I tried to experiment with it, I understood that it doesn't work. it actually makes everything worse. Because water is water. If you add too much, it doesn't look like water anymore. It looks like confetti pond. So I played around, tried to find some sort of solution for this situation because I really wanted to add more color. Only blue water seemed like not enough. So I experimented with peach, pink, violets, all sorts of colors. I added glow, removed the glow. At one point I was like obsessed. I wanted to create an image that I saw in my head, but I had no idea how to do it. Everything looked so fake or strange. I was at one point thinking that I should probably start a nude spot, but then I was stubborn enough to try to add many different shapes, many different colors, different brushes, until little by little I started to see that it's working out. After that, I decided that I needed to clear the shape, warp it a bit because it was strange. I needed to have a little bigger looking pond. This is how it looks in the tutorial. After that, actually, I spent a few more minutes next day and changed a little bit of water shape. So I made a few little tweaks here and there, and this is the final result. So this concludes the tutorial, and I hope you learned something, especially learned how to not give up, how to continue doing what you want to do, and find a way to envision what you have in your mind. To be bold, to play with colors, to play with all sorts of layers, effects and brushes, and many other things. Be creative, be inspired, and do what you like to do.